production of each Alert Diver magazine goes through a number of processes, very much in a particular sequence. For example, when we have the ideas for the articles and we communicate with our contributors, we get the images come into me. I look at them in a calibrated workflow, which is it's synced with our calibration with our prepress, so that when an image is processed, they're all digital, of course, and it goes to our digital prepress, and eventually at some point in the process we'll get these Epson prints. Now, the Epson prints may go through several iterations. We'll decide if there are any color changes or density changes that might have to happen before we get to press, but at a certain point I sign OK on an Epson print that's come to me from our prepress, and then that goes to Quad Graphics. We'll see these pages come off the press and we'll have a reference, and each of these references will have the OK that I give today. So we don't want to lose these highlights, the detail in the mouth of the shark, but we also want to see some of the shadow detail come through a little bit more. This is an ad from the Florida Keys. It was a little bit too yellow overall, and the shadow was kind of blocked up, so here's our next proof, far better, and I'm happy to say yes. Good flesh tones, really nice product. We're just going to call this a little too dark. And you can see how pixelated this photo is, because at the beginning we had only a low res. From this I know that we want the high res to go in the next iteration. Diana Robinson and Brian Harper, Josh Benjamin are our brilliant copy editors, and they're going to go through here. They're going to check every paragraph, every sentence, every comma, and they're going to make sure that everything follows our style sheets. Little blue or cyan, we're going to tweak the ad slightly. This is our dive slate opener, a killer shot by Paul Nicklin to illustrate the faces of climate change. So I'm looking at where the gutter falls and how both sides match together. These happen to all be good, but for example, if any one of these images would be brighter or darker, I can do it here. So you can see that the first iteration was too yellow. You can see it in the water, and you can see it in the sand. So now we have it much cleaner, but we also need to see how it crosses the gutter. So yeah, very, very nice. We'll take this one to press. I want to make sure that every one of these reproduces with the utmost fidelity, and it's a beautiful single page. So I want to try to achieve a brighter white. A little tweak on that one. This one's okay. Sometimes I'll look at an image and I'll think, you know, there might be something I would change a little bit, but actually at this point it's probably easier for me to deal with it on press. For example, if I make this lighter overall, I'll lose detail in the hand, but on press I can ask them to lighten, for example, this 2/3 of the page, so I'll be able to hold detail on the hand, yet still pull some shadow detail out of the diver. On the digital image, we had good clarity of the diver coming through the doorway in the shipwreck, so I'm just going to ask them to make that a little bit brighter. All right, here's the Scuba Pro ad, typically really, really nice creative. All right, so there's our Epson proofs. Today they'll go back to MJI in San Diego. And the next time I'll see these pages is in Sussex, Wisconsin at Quad Graphics.